In today's video, we are going to unbox the October 2022 Paletteful Packs Premier Box and find out what's inside. So in this box, it looks like we have a sticker that I believe we've already seen very recently. And looks like we're going to be having some Daler Rowney FW acrylic ink. And this is a pamphlet that pretty much shows a guide for using the ink. Daler Rowney FW acrylic ink is an acrylic pigment-based, water-resistant ink with a high degree of light fastness and intermixability. The FW acrylic inks can be used straight out of the dropper or diluted to achieve subtle tones. It's very similar in character to watercolor, so washes will dry to a water-resistant film on virtually all surfaces. These inks say that there's a manufacturer suggested retail price of $43.75. That right there is more than the cost of this box. But let's see. We have lemon yellow. This would be process magenta. We have process cyan. We have sepia and emerald green. And there we are. So great primary set. I'm going to be able to do a lot with those. And these are the full-size bottles. So there's your value in your box right there. Now it says that FW inks can be applied using traditional brushes, but also work well through airbrushes, technical pens, and paint markers, making them ideal for producing technical illustrations and finely worked drawings. So the expressive fluidity of acrylic ink is suitable for use by fine artists, illustrators, graphic designers, calligraphers, decorative artists, and hobbyists. So in addition to this, we have a 10-well paint tray right here, which mine is covered in blue dust from the filler. But they say this is a manufacturer suggested retail of $2.69. Suitable for all water-based media, the paint tray has 6 round wells, 4 rectangular wells, and it has the contour of a traditional palette and features a thumb hole in the molded white plastic. It's highly durable and the smooth surface is easy to clean. So there you go. We have a palette to mix our inks with. In addition, there is an Art Alternatives Pigment Liner. This has a manufacturer suggested retail price of $1.99. Pigment liner pens are ideal for illustration, graphic and technical drawings, sketching, crafting, and lettering. So the durable nibs produce fine lines, making them great for detail work. The pen contains acid-free, archival quality, water-based pigment ink that is water and fade resistant when dry. And this one is a 0.3. And I have to say that I have used other of the Art Alternatives liners and have not had a problem with them once they're dry, moving when I put a wet wash of something on top of them. So this will be great for like line and wash, anything like that. This is a good choice. In addition, we have 2 Robert Simmons Sapphire brushes, the number 2 round and the number 4 round, which come in at about $9.19 and $10.80 respectively. As their manufacturer suggested retail price. So that is those right there. So in addition, we have the Tombow drawing pencil. The Robert Simmons Sapphire brushes. The Sapphire line is designed for artists working in all mediums who love the pointing, color holding, spring, and smooth application of natural sable, but also demand the durability associated with synthetic brushes. The handles are made of kiln-dried beech wood, and the ferrules are precision engineered and 22 karat gold plated. So unique blend of the finest red Kolinsky hair and synthetic filaments delivers the ultimate painting experience. So each brush is handmade and carries a lifetime guarantee. I have used the Simmons Sapphire brushes before, and I do like them. So I'm happy to have 2 more. So the Tombow drawing pencil. This is $1.56 manufacturer suggested retail price. These pencils are made with superior, extra refined, high density graphite, and the long lasting pencils feature strong points, making them extremely break resistant. They also wear slowly, all the while producing smooth, dense lines when writing or drawing. So the smear proof lines give drawings a crisp, clean appearance. So you can also use your pencil. You can use your graphite to do line and wash as well. So something else to consider. And then it says, last but not least, this is just a free sample pack. So they haven't actually given us like a full surface to work on this time, or full, you know, like a full pad of paper in the box for our surface. But I'm assuming that that's because the value is already here in between the inks and the brushes. The value of the box is there. So again, these have lots of blue dust on them from the filler in the box. But this is Stonehenge White, and Stonehenge White is that's made by Legion. And if I can just I can show you. I actually have this paper that I've been wanting to try, so I'm really looking forward to this. This is Stonehenge White, and Stonehenge White, which is made by Legion. This paper is 100% cotton rag. It's acid-free, heavyweight paper. It's machine made in the USA. The versatile fine art paper offers smooth, even surface with a slight tooth that resembles vellum. It's ideal for a variety of media, including pen and ink drawing, watercolor, printmaking, pencil, pastel, or silk screen. So this is a free sample pack, and it looks like we have, let me just check this out. 1, 2, 3 sheets in here. Yeah, so these sheets are still attached to each other, but there's 3 sheet sample pack in here that is 8 by 8 in size. I can tell you though, just by, you know, the information put on here, this was created for printmakers. This cotton paper soon spread across all drawing techniques, especially colored pencil. This is Stonehenge White, and it is 250 GSM, in case that is something that is important to you. And it does have a very smooth surface that is very similar to vellum. So I'm looking forward to using and trying that surface. I had the Stonehenge White, and in fact that is included in my art supply sample tier on Patreon this month. So if you are a patron, you're also going to be getting a sample of this paper, because I used it when I'm sending out, it's going in all the packages for anyone who signs up this month to the art supply sample tier. And you're going to actually be getting a sample of different inks than what I just received in my Paletteful pack, but same paper. I actually chose the same paper, so I find that very interesting, and I'm glad that Paletteful Packs has included that to try with these inks. So hopefully all of you patrons receiving that box are going to enjoy it as well. Okay, so for this month, this is just an old Paletteful Pack sticker that I had, which was like inky, and I liked it. This is actually, I just got that sticker. I don't know if they're starting to put random stickers in the boxes or what's going on. Okay, so I am still trying to recover from being sick, so my apologies. My voice is just going. But here are our inks, and there's so many different ways we can use these. I'm gonna have to clean this up before I can use it. I can't use this. It's just, you see there, it's covered in blue dust. So I'm gonna have to clean all of that up, and I'm gonna double check on these brushes. I'm pretty sure that I have those sizes. I may already have them in my bag. So, oh, I know I have a 3, so I did not have, that's not the 2 or the 4. I had the 3, the 6, and then the 8 filbert are what I have received so far from the Sapphire line. So excellent. I'm glad to be able to add the size 2 and the size 4 into my collection. I do, like I said, I've tried these. I keep these with my watercolor brushes, and thus far I am really liking the Sapphire line. So now I have a size 2, size 3, size 4, size 6, size 8 filbert, and I'd love to get some of they make the larger size rounds. I'd love to be able to get those because I use those more often than not. And these pretty small brushes. So I don't know how much of what kind of use they're going to be to me overall because they are small, but that's okay. Again, happy to have them in the collection. All right. I think one of the things, they show how these can be layered. Their example here is showing like creating these leaves. And this actually takes you through step by step, some processes to create this. But some of the ways that I have found that I enjoy using them wet and wet. I will let me clean this up, get some water, and I will show you a few quick things with them. Okay, so this is all cleaned up now. And I just have to say that patrons on the art supply sample tier, if you're liking the look of this box, you're gonna love your sample package when it gets to you, because I've sent out the same type of palette, same paper, and the only difference is instead of the Daler-Rowney FW inks, I've actually chosen the Liquitex acrylic ink, and their set was a primary with a cerulean cad yellow light hue and a crimson. So I think that this is something that is of interest to you, and you're a patron on the art supply sample tier for the month of October. You're gonna like your box. All right, let's just take these off. And just bear with me. Of course, I just went up and down the stairs to take care of cleaning this stuff, so my voice is definitely going to be a bit ragged after doing that. All right. I'm going to take these and I'm going to actually just put just a drop. You don't need a lot. When it comes to ink, you do not need a lot. A little goes a long way, and I'm just going to put one drop of these. And I'm going to leave space so that I can do some mixing. Of course, I have a green. So starting with the yellow and the red, I'll make an orange here. And then of course I'll skip for the blue. So I'll make a purple there. And then of course I won't need to mix the green. I have a green and the sepia, but I'm going to put the green here so that I can actually show you, if I mix this yellow and this blue, how does the green compare to the one that was included. And then of course we have sepia. I probably should have shaken these. I probably should have shaken these up. I know with the Liquitex ones, yeah, see, they've settled. Let me just give these a shake and get these fully mixed. I'll actually put a second drop in once these are mixed, just in case. And they do show on the side, like the airbrush, paintbrush, pen. I could use like a glass dip pen. I could use a ruling pen. If you're familiar with those, ruling pens are great. A lot of people use them for applying masking fluid because they're easy to clean. There we go, we get that all mixed in there. Oh, the red didn't look too bad. The blue separated, which on my Liquitex, like you see a lot of separation. You really have to mix those. Like for example, one of my samples here for patrons, like you see it, half it completely like separates, and you definitely have to give them, you know, a shake and mix them up. And all the colors like that, but the blue you can definitely see, and the green is quite a bit as well. All right, so let's just go one more time with that. Of course, they're a little frothy because I did mix them. And that dropper is not, this dropper actually is not suctioning anything up into it. I don't know why that is. Yeah, it's not suctioning anything. Yeah, I can't even get the dropper suction up anything. It's still going to be more than I'll need, I'm sure. Check this red one and see if it wants to suction. No, again, it's not. Okay, that had hard, probably dried in it. I wonder if that's the problem with the yellow as well. Yeah, now that's suctioned up. That may be the problem with the yellow. Let's see if we can get, is there anything stuck in there? Yeah, that might be the case. It might be that it's actually got particles that have dried inside it. I can get my hand all steady here. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. There are particles in there that were. Yep. Now it's suctioning. That's exactly what it was. So check your droppers. If you get one of these and it's not sucking up the ink, that dropper may have dried. All right, the blue, I heard the blue kind of pop. So in the blue, you see very different between before it was mixed and now. Oh, you can't see because I just decided it wanted to go out of focus. There we go. Very different when I put the dropper of it well mixed on there. So I can hear that the green is suctioning. Again, the green, same way. The green was much different once mixed. The color's much lighter. And then, of course, we have the sepia. So I have a couple drops of each. A little goes a very long way. So first, I'm going to take some of my yellow. Let me just blend these two together. I'm going to take some of my yellow and I'm going to put it right here. And I'm going to take a little bit of this yellow. I'm actually going to put it right here. And then I'm going to come into red. See what we're going to get for like an orange. mix this blue. I should have put red over here as well because I wanted to try to see what I could get as far as purples go. This blue I'm sure is going to be much stronger than that yellow, so a little bit. And there's the green, which looks like it's going to be quite different. The green that they mix will be quite different than the green that you're receiving. I say quite different, but not too drastically different. You can see that there. All right. I'll put some blue in there. Rinse that out. And get a little bit more of this red. Probably need a little bit more red, probably contaminate my red. And there's our purple. Okay. So let's just see our colors here. So first, the one that I've flipped this over because this is the side that really had the blue. I'm just going to do my swatching on this side. Very, very bold yellow. And the prompts, the Paletteful prompt is, they give you 4. Prompt number 1 this month is leaf. And then prompt number 2 is camping, spooky, and then adventure. So I think maybe we'll go with leaf and see if we can do just a quick little leaf here once I do the colors out. So that was the lemon yellow. Next we have the processed magenta. I'm going to get a little bit more of that. Just one more drop. I think that was a little diluted. I just wanted to add a bit more to it. Okay. And then we have the processed cyan. Our sepia. Which is very dark in mass tone, but it fades out very nicely. You do some nice monochromatic work with that color. You do nice monochromatic work with any color, but I think I give like a nice vintage feel to a piece. And then of course we have the emerald green. You see these brushes really do hold a lot. That would have just kept going and going. I really do like these brushes. And again, this is the number 4 round. So then I mixed. See, when I mixed the lemon yellow and the processed magenta, we get this value, which is beautiful for fall. Look at that orange that they make. And let's take a look at the processed magenta and processed cyan. This is what we're going to get. It's really kind of a nice warm blue. I would need more processed magenta in there to get more towards that purple. But that gives us a really nice warm blue. And then when we blend our, let's wipe that off a little bit more, the lemon yellow and the processed cyan is already starting to dry on my palette. See, there's the green. I said it was kind of actually similar. That was very diluted, but by this point, but very similar. I would have kept pulling that out. Okay. So I have my Tombow mono, and then I have my pigment liner. So just to show you on the pigment liner, I think if we do, let's just do a quick leaf shape. I don't know where I was going with that. Okay. Let that dry for a minute. And I will go ahead and give this a quick sharpen. Okay. So this is a 2H. And again, this was the Tombow mono. And thinking of like, almost kind of like a maple leaf type shape there. All right. Kind of bring some of that out. All right. And it does say smudge, and I will say that rubbing my finger over that, I'm not really picking up a lot of graphite. So if you want a pencil that's not going to smear around, it might be a good choice. Okay, so letting that dry. I'm going to start here. One of the things I think is fun, even with acrylic inks, and clearly that is pulling, unless there was something in that water. I don't think so. Make sure that that is clean. Yeah, that is clean. Okay, there may have been something in my water well that I picked up off my paint puck, because I did not scrub my paint puck out, which usually I do. Yeah, because that graphite's not moving. That was something, disregard. That's not the pencil. That is something that must have been on my paint puck. Which, if you use paint puck, I definitely recommend scrubbing them clean in between uses so that you don't do what I just did. So here, now again, I said that this paper, it is 250 GSM, so it's got a little weight to it. Not quite, 300, like a lot of water color papers. But it may take some water. And I'm really throwing the water at this. Okay, so now I'm just going to take, we got that down there. And I'm going to let where the veins are be nice and wet. And we'll take some of this thread and we're just going to kind of drop this in. And I'm going to grab some of that mixture with the orange. Put some of that in there. Just let them kind of mingle. So unlike watercolor, once these dry, they're going to be permanent. We're not going to move these again. So if there's a level of transparency there, we could come back through and really build up some layers. So we can use these like watercolor. How much will they travel though in like a wet wash? I don't know. You see, for me, of course, everything dries so fast. And now that we're headed towards winter, everything's going to dry even faster here in my studio. I'm going to grab a little bit of that sepia too. And let it start to, as the leaf really starts to break down and it starts to change, turn brown. I'll put a little bit of that up in here too. That is definitely very wet now on this page. How much will this spread and move? We will see. I know when you use this on actual watercolor paper, and your sizing is there, you can get some really neat effects. Okay. Now, just to show you, once this is down and dry, you see, that does not move. That is a very good, I definitely like those liners. They stay put. As always, I will link to everything if you just see one item that you want to try and you don't want to have to get an entire subscription box. I'll of course link to these items individually in the description below. But these are definitely liners that I recommend if you're doing anything where you don't want subsequent layers that are wet to disturb your line work. I have found that our alternative pigment liners are very good for staying right where I put them. Okay. Now, dab in some more here. Just see what it'll do. I'm almost out of colors. And see, if I dilute these, I get very pale versions of these colors. That yellow is still so strong. But I can come back with just more water and dilute that as well. While this is wet, another thing that you can do, actually it may show up better. I'm just going to show you with a swatch over here. If I take and I lay this down, I can get some interesting things happening if I come back. And now this is just isopropyl alcohol. This is 91%. I'm going to cover up my little leaf here and just give this a little spritz. Or a big spritz. That was a bigger spritz than I wanted, but that's okay. I'll let you wait and we'll see how that reacts to that. Versus, say, if I come over here put a swatch down and do the same, only this time I'm going to protect this and I'm just going to use some distilled water. You see how I can make that take off. And now the water drops will have affected this side as well. So we're just going to kind of let those two things set so you can see. You can do some interesting things with this. Now let me just kind of set that aside. There we go. So you see here, I'm not getting the results that I was actually expecting from the alcohol. And it may be just because it didn't spray right away. Just going to come up here where I had that emerald green. While that is wet. Oop, again, this pump is giving me more than I'm expecting. Versus, let's actually, I'm going to take up my bet. I'll do it over here too. It's sat. This is sat and dried. I don't know that that's going to come in and make a difference now. We shall see. But you can get some interesting effects with the water for sure. Just come back with a drop of water while this is still damp. Let's see if it moves or pushes anything. Okay, with watercolor, this you definitely are going to get a push and pull of those pigments depending on more water, less water, water to paint ratios, very important. So trying these out with this gives us a lot of valuable information. The spritz, when it was still very wet, you can see there are some little, the droplet marks when it first hit. And of course it does disperse there. If I added a lot more water, I could have got all kinds of different effects. The alcohol didn't do as much. Here it did when I got it when it was really wet. So drying time, important, and it sucked right into this paper. It was not a wet and wet wash either. Those were just washes directly on the paper. Now if I did that in a wet and wet wash, so if I have a wet area and now I bring pigment into that wet area, you see how that kind of immediately took off to the edges. And now, if I come back with a drop of that alcohol, it's definitely going to react because it's now it can push that water away. That's definitely going to give us a different result. And if it were, something that was spritzed in there, it can definitely have effects on it at that point. So also important to know that just straight paint with the spritz of the alcohol doesn't do as much. Some, but not like this when you have water involved, and it's water and alcohol in a wet wash. That is definitely going to create a unique effect. Maybe you see ways that you would be able to use that. I don't know, but there you go. And as that dries, it'll look a bit different. But these, once they are dry, these are dry. So my initial swatches feel pretty well dried. If I come back through, you see I'm not reactivating any of that. That is not going to be reactivated. So once they're dry, they are definitely permanent. Again, I could see so many benefits for this. If you like to paint, if you like the idea of watercolor, but have issues with, maybe you're coming from acrylics and you were used to being able to layer up, but you kind of want the thinner, transparent medium to paint in, you could paint with something like this, and once your layer's dry, you're not going to reactivate them, so you could go over top of them and layer up just like you would a regular acrylic painting and get the benefits of, being able to layer without reactivating the layer below. This might be something that would be for you. Again, they're permanent once they're dry. So you could even take something like this and line out your work. I could use, like I said, something like a dip pen or a nib. Thought I had mine sitting right here. I do. Or a pen that's like this. And you could certainly pick up some of that ink. And you could draw with it. Of course, this is drying, and let me just put some of this into here. Get some in this nib. And there we go. So I could use that. Right, and illustrate my get my line work in there. So once that's dry, again, it's going to be permanent. So then I can come back, just make sure that that dries right in. And I believe that's already dry on my palette. Now this will, if you do something like this and it dries on your palette, these will actually come off. You can use rubbing alcohol and it will take that off. But I find that all I really need to do is just soak it. Just soak it with some water and it tends to come right off my palette. Anytime that I've had acrylic dry on my, I think I've used the metal palettes. And I know acorns are not blue, but this was just to demonstrate the fact that it does dry permanent and you can come back over that and layer on another color without reactivating and mixing up what was below it. So there we have it. I hope, and you see this is, well, it's a little damp, but it's pretty well drying. So you can see like the effects that you can get. There's so many more really neat things that you can do with the inks. I've used some inks before. There's a video here on the channel that I, because I had a viewer that sent me some, and actually they were the Daler Rowney inks. So I believe they were the System 3. And you will see, if you're interested, that video is on the channel. And I did a lot of experimenting with those to see what I could do, and that was a lot of fun. So check these out if this is something that interests you. I mean, you can definitely do a complete painting with these. I'm going to be excited to do some more work with them this month. And yeah, check that out. Links are in the description for all of these items, as well as Paletteful packs, if Paletteful packs is something that you are interested in. I do hope that you'll check them out. They are my favorite box, and month after month I keep thinking that I'm bringing you these videos and showing you that the value is there in these boxes. So I hope you've enjoyed this one. October 2022, we have some Daler Rowney FW acrylic inks. And did you get this box? Did you enjoy it? I know I can't wait to use it some more. Until next time, everyone, smash that like button if you got value from this. It definitely helps YouTube put this out to more people. And if you haven't already, perhaps consider subscribing to the channel. We love to have you around. We live stream every Thursday at 3 p.m. with the exception of this Thursday, because I am still recuperating, and the longer I talk, the worse I feel. So with that, I am going to bid you adieu. Have a great rest of your day, and I will see you in the next one. And until then, I'm going to pop it right about here, another video that you might like to watch next. Have a good day, everybody. Bye-bye.